Now here is the fifth part of chapter 5, continuity and differentiability, where we are going to discuss about the composite, implicit and inverse trigonometric functions. Till now, whatever you were studying relative to differentiability, that was a bit theoretical part. Now we will be doing in the form of questions that will be giving you much interest. So here is the derivatives of composite function. Let's understand this with an example. How we are going to understand about this composite function. There nowhere it will be written like it is a composite function, or it will be an implicit function, or it is an inverse trigonometric function. You have to understand on your own and you have to apply the rules accordingly. Suppose the example is fx is equal to 2x plus 1 whole cube, and we have to differentiate this, means find the derivative of this. D by dx of fx, just general way of writing this. And after doing this derivative, we know the derivative of x to the power n is n x to the power n minus 1. So here n is 3. So this becomes 3. 2x plus 1 to the power 3 minus 1, that is 2. And by using chain rule, d by dx of 2x plus 1, we will be doing it again. After finding out the derivative of 2x plus 1, it will be just 2, and for 1 it will be 0. So the answer is 2. So this is the derivative. 3 into 2 we can multiply and write it as 6 2x plus 1 whole square. And this is the way to find out the derivative of composite function, where we are maximum times going to use the chain rule. And what is this chain rule? Let us see this chain rule, and we'll do one more example also. Here also a chain rule is only applied. Chain rule: if a function f be a real valued function which is a composite of two function u and v. Suppose I am writing here the function as f o u, means two function are there, v and u. So how we will be finding out or using out the chain rule? If t is a function with respect to x, and if both dt upon dx and dv by dx exist, then we can write df upon dx. Finding out the derivative of this function, we can write here dv by dt into dt by dx. Let's understand more easily with the help of an example how we are going to use this chain rule. Suppose we have to find the derivative of sine x square. So here, first thing, the function is sine x square. So this is the first function which we have to consider, sine, right? So we know that the derivative of sine x is cos x, right? So easily we can write, people just write it like cos x square and the work is done, but that is not the case. Here we will be writing out the derivative of sine x square, and then again we will be finding out the derivative of x square. So here see, it is written cos x square, and then the derivative of x square we are going to find it out again. When we do for sine x, we write it as cos x, and then we do not write anything further because d by dx of x is 1. We don't have to write that. But here in this case, for x square it is becoming as 2x. So our answer of sine x square, the derivative is 2x cos x square. This chain rule is very important for finding out the derivatives. This exercise 5.2 is totally based on this chain rule. Please finish this exercise of this composite function. For exercise 5.3, I am going to explain you about the implicit function and inverse trigonometric function, how we are going to apply that. What do you mean by implicit function? Let's first understand about this. See, till now we are differentiating the functions like we were given always y in the form of x. Then we can easily find out dy by dx. Now let us see few other relationship where we have to find dy by dx. Suppose this is the first equation, x minus y minus pi is equal to 0, and the other is x plus sine xy minus y is equal to 0. This is the second function. So how we will be going to do this? In this we can easily write that y is equal to x minus pi, and then we can easily find out dy by dx is equal to 1, and we can know this. But see in the second equation, In this equation, if I had to find dy by dx, it will not be an easy way to solve for y. So in these kind of relationship between x and y, it is easy to solve for y. But in the second equation, will be not easy to find the value of dy by dx. So the second type of the given function, we can say that implicity is there in between x and y. So what we'll be going to do for these kind of things, let's see with the help of an example. If we have to find dy by dx of these kinds of functions, suppose the equation is y plus sin y is equal to cos x. Here we have to find dy by dx. Now this is an example for implicit function where we cannot take y common or something, and we can easily find it out, y in the form of x. So we cannot find it out. So we will just simply differentiate this equation with respect to x. Now y I can write dy by dx. For sin y, what I can write it here? Cos y, then again with the help of chain rule, dy by dx. And for this cos x, it is minus sin x. Here also it is dy by dx, and with cos y also dy by dx. Taking common dy by dx, we are becoming here 1 plus cos y. So this is the bracket over here. Here we can easily find now dy by dx. So dy by dx becomes minus sin x upon 1 plus cos y. Here we have to mention here that y should not be equal to 2n plus 1 into pi, because as soon as it will be equal to 2n plus 1 into pi, the value of this cos y will become minus 1 and the denominator will become 0. So here the condition to be mentioned is a must. So few questions of exercise 5.3 are based on implicit functions, and this is the third one, derivatives of inverse trigonometric function. This is actually related to chapter number 2, but let's try to do this. Find the derivative of fx is equal to sine inverse x. So we can easily write it as y is equal to sine inverse x. Now this inverse x means we can take this sine on the right hand side and this x remains separately. So we can write as x is equal to sine y. Now we will be differentiating. Again we have to find the same thing, dy by dx. Differentiating, if I differentiate x, we get 1, and if I differentiate sin y, this becomes cos y dy by dx by using chain rule. Now we have to find dy by dx, so this will become 1 upon cos y. See here, 1 upon cos y. This cos y we have to change finally in the form of x. So this cos y can be written as under root of 1 minus sine square y. Why I am changing in the form of sine y? Because I know that sine y is equal to x. In the beginning, just see here, I am showing you again. This sine y is equal to x. So I had to change this cos y in the form of sine y. So in place of this sine y, in the last, I will be writing out in the form of x. So it is under root 1 minus x square. So on these three things, we have to finish exercise 5.2 and 5.3 in your notebook. This is your homework. Finish your exercises and we will be meeting in the next video. Have a good day.